Part 2. Azure Moon. Lone Moon. The Rose-Colored River. The Kingdom Army meets with Rodrigue in Aelel, the Valley of Torment. With the strength of House Fraldarius on their side, the time to invade the Empire is finally at hand.
Even though it's in ruins, in some strange way, this monastery never truly changes, does it? I studied at the Officers' Academy when I was young. Those memories come rushing back whenever I return. What are you doing here at this hour anyway? It's the same for me. Perhaps you'll allow me to join you. Much appreciated. I keep recalling my eldest son. He was quite gifted. In fact, he was appointed a knight at the age of 15. I still vividly remember the day he was granted a sword from His Majesty. Dead. He was killed 9 years ago in Dusker. All that returned of him that day were his sword and his armor. After it happened, I said something horrible to Felix. He's hated me ever since, and I don't blame him. No matter how much you grieve, the dead will never return. No magic in the world can bring them back. That's why their memory clings to the living like a curse. The more they were loved, the tighter their hold, and the more suffering they cause. I fear I am not a strong enough man to scold His Highness for his foolishness. Right you are. As adults, it is our responsibility to scold him and help him find his way again. I come off as so self-important, but really, I'm just a failure of a man. Professor, I entrust the young prince and the future of Fargus to you. I suppose that was a dramatic way of putting it. My apologies. You should know that I have no intention of insisting that you take back Ferdiat. All I ask is that you continue to rein in Dimitri's manic desire for revenge. Now then, we have received House Regan's consent. All that's left is for us to depart. If we make it through Gloucester territory and across the Great Bridge of Murden, we'll be in Empire territory. You are not afraid, are you? Ha! No need to worry. Don't you underestimate the power of my soldiers. I'm glad you were the one to lead the Blue Lion House, Professor. I mean that.
Who knew I'd have an opportunity to show off my singing voice?
Ah, it feels good to sing nice and loud. Fill my chest up with sound.
Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time. 18 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire. All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically, but once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word, skin pale as death. One after another, they captured and imprisoned the children of our household. They began performing terrible rituals on the children, though it's probably more accurate to call them experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair. All trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most. Perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass. It's not like what's been done to me can be undone. Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests. You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
A new power. I won't squander it.
Professor, if we can suppress this Murden, we can invade into the Empire, right? I was in the Empire. Now I will be an enemy. I am having strange feelings. It is with ease that an ally turns into an enemy.
Lord Rodrigue seems reliable, but even with his help, aren't we still a little short-handed? We can probably make it to the Great Bridge of Murden, but beyond that, I don't know. Don't let Dimitri push you too much, Professor. It'll shorten your life for sure.
Well...
One to remember. was meant to be. You haven't earned my pity. You fought well. Too easy. All right, next.
Lord Gwendol was pretty tough. If only he'd been on our side, he would have been a great ally. But it was Lord Gwendol himself who made the decision to throw his lot in with the Empire alongside his liege. I will neither pity him nor mourn for him. It would be an insult to his honor to follow the path of justice as long as life endures. That is the duty of a Knight of Fargus.
What the?
War isn't kind to you if you're a recluse. By the time you realize what's going on, you're already under attack. And if you're off by yourself, you can get killed with no one ever even finding out. Oh, that'd be awful. Just terrible. Okay, Professor, I get it. I know I'll have to come out.
Pardon me.
Maybe. Claude says he's on our side. I know everything will be fine if we leave it to him. He may act like a layabout, but he's actually smart. And although Claude isn't honest about some things, you can trust him when it counts. Yeah, he'll do us proud. That's just my gut feeling, but still. Okay.
Anyway, the area around Castle Gaspar, where I was living, is under the control of House Rowe, who have submitted to the Empire. If I hadn't come to Garreg Mach, I might have ended up as your enemy at Aelel. That thought makes me really happy to be here now. I don't think I would have been able to handle facing all of you in battle.
It looks like we're all set with food supplies. Thanks to Lord Rodrigue. We have more soldiers to feed now, so we'll still need to ration. But I think we have enough extra to make some tasty treats. I'll go scout the pantry. We can enjoy it together over some tea.
I'm sure you know this already, but House Ordelia is aligned with the Empire. They face the Empire from across a river, similar to the Gloucesters. Even so, I refuse to yield to the Empire a second time. The Empire did unthinkable things to my family, and to me. The only option here is winning. Professor, you must promise we will overcome the Empire.
I finally got to eat a full meal for the first time in forever. And it's all thanks to Lord Rodrigue. I've got so much energy. Let me at that great bridge of Murden. I'll bust it down myself. Oh, but then how do we cross?
I thought House Fraldarius had an invasion of their own to worry about. I'm impressed Lord Rodrigue was willing to provide us all these reinforcements and supplies. The Knights' morale is really boosted, seeing as they have had their first good meal in a while. Let's hope we can keep this up and take down the Great Bridge of Murden.
The flavor is nostalgic. This looks delicious.
Ooh,
I appreciate.
I would.
I know.
As a noble, yeah, you.
This is my...
Right. Do you really think it's a good idea to trust Claude? If you let yourself get taken in by his silver tongue, you might wind up regretting it. The thing is, 5 years ago, I was taken in by his tricks myself. I was given a long and grueling lecture by my unit leader that day. Ugh, the memory of it is still too painful.
So, House Regan accepted. I knew the leader of the Alliance wouldn't refuse. Still, we can't let our guard down. There's no telling when he'll turn on us. If we advance through the Alliance into the Empire, our chances for reconnaissance will be limited. I just hope it goes according to plan.
From the outset, House Regan and House Gloucester have been fighting over leadership of the Alliance. Then this war comes along, and their opinions are split about whether to ally with the Empire or not. Their existing enmity only worsened, leading them to full-on conflict with one another. However, the leader of the Alliance is a very shrewd man. It's difficult to predict what he'll do at this point.
What? Leaving the house in my uncle's hands? What is the old man thinking? I always knew my father was mad, but this time he's gone too far. My uncle is a reliable man, but still, only a fool would abandon his own territory.
Oh. Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Lord Rodrigue is revered by all as the Shield of Fargus. I was imagining a more stern-faced fellow, but he's actually quite friendly. Shocking. I heard that he recently spent the night drinking in the dining hall with soldiers from the church.
I need your help.
Oh-ho!
Yay! Thanks!
Here's an idea.
what used to be Ire territory lies far to the east of the Great Bridge of Murden, downstream of the Aramid River, for the sake of my family. I wish we could invade the Empire from there, but I do not have the power to advocate for that. Strategically, Murden is more important. Thank you, Professor. I will not give in. Not until I have restored my noble pride.
On the north side of the Great Bridge of Murden lies the territory of Acheron of the Alliance, and to the south, the Empire's Burgleys territory.
Count Burgles has held the position of Minister of Military Affairs for the Empire ever since the days of Emperor Ionius. The current Emperor seems to have brought the corrupt nobility to heel, but Count Burgles looks to be an exception.
Just like House Fraldarius, House Galatea is currently being invaded by the dukedom. My family is not as wealthy as most others, so we are incapable of sparing resources or reinforcements. I'm sorry. It's just so frustrating not being able to do anything to help.
My adoptive father is planning on supporting the Regan family in the upcoming operation. He says it's the perfect opportunity to get both the Alliance and the Kingdom on his side. He even insisted that I promote the good name of House Edmund to the people of the Kingdom. He'll see right through me if I lie, so I can't ignore the request. But I suppose I did just tell you, so that must count for something.
Professor, we were raised by Lord Rodrigue himself to be the elite of the elite. Even if our enemy is the Empire's vast army, we can overcome the difference in numbers. The one thing that could prove to be a problem is if our food and supplies don't hold up. If we attack the Imperial capital before the Kingdom capital, we'll have to be swift if we want to prevail.
I had an encounter with Lord Gwendol. How many years ago was it?
Back before the academy, I met this girl who I fell madly in love with. And her dad tried to kill me. I suppose he just tried to scare me, but I was sure I was gonna die. Oh yeah, her dad? Lord Gwendol.
Crazy, right? I never thought I'd seriously be trying to kill the guy in battle. I kind of don't know how to make sense of it.
Maybe.
Well now, even after all these decades, the Academy hasn't changed a bit. I remember it well, even now. I used to sneak out of lectures with Lambert almost every day. I suppose this is not the time for an old man's nostalgia. We have received approval from House Regan. We should set out as soon as you're ready.
Being here brings back all manner of memories. The days I spent studying here with you and everyone else. Those days were so special to me. They were truly some of the warmest days of my life. I hold them dear in my heart. And now, to be forced to fight with those I was once so close to, my friends, it is most saddening.
Gwendol made the ultimate sacrifice in service of House Rowe. I understand that feeling. I'd do anything for Lady Rhea. I'm surprised. I didn't peg you as the kind of person to say that sort of thing. At any rate, it's up to the individual how to demonstrate loyalty.
The Aramid River separates the Empire and Alliance. It's the largest river in Fodlan. Sometimes it'll flood when there's lots of rain, but at least the land gets some extra water.
Okay.
Speaking of House Fraldarius is a military house. They swore fealty to the royal family at the kingdom's founding. The current family head, Lord Rodrigue, was raised like a brother to the former king. He harbors a loyalty that goes beyond mere duty. Perhaps this is why he was willing to lend us his aid. I have a request. I have a request.
The Great Bridge of Murden isn't just a bridge. It has the features of a fortress. I believe it was built for military purposes by the first leader of the Adrestian Empire. In other words, it's even older than the monastery. So if we occupy the Great Bridge, we'll have to search it from top to bottom.
If you stand in my way, I will strike you down. Need something? This one? You're all set. See you again soon.
Since I'm originally from the Empire, it seems no one trusts me with any important tasks. Fine by me. Honestly, I bet they're watching my every move to make sure I can be trusted. I knew it. War makes people crazy, huh?
So, Lady Rhea must be so scared. We gotta find her quick as we can. We got reinforcements from the Kingdom people now, right? Then we ought to be able to go save her.
The battle at ALL was a tactical marvel. You grow stronger with each passing day. Where does your talent end and your crest's power begin? Are they one and the same, I wonder? Most intriguing. Yet, it is quite difficult to draw useful conclusions given the situation. It is quite unfortunate I did not achieve my research goals before the war broke out. So much unknown. Now, I fear I will not have those answers even by conflict's end. So very frustrating.
Professor? Oh, hello there, Professor. Did you need something from me? It doesn't look like you're wounded or anything. You just looking for someone to talk to? I thought so. Well, I'm here for you. Making you feel better is my top priority. Whether it's physical pain or worries of the heart, you can come to me for anything, Professor.
Really?
We're going to invade the Empire, which means we'll be fighting people we know, won't we? If we're attacked by someone we know or used to think of as a friend, is it permitted to run away? Really? If something happens, will you keep me safe?
Professor! Next, we face the Great Bridge of Murden. We actually crossed it a long time ago. Do you remember? It was 5 whole years ago. It seems like so long ago, doesn't it? It's odd how fast time flies. Everyone was still friends then. After the fighting, we all ate together without splitting into our separate houses. I often wish we could go back to those peaceful days.
So, the renowned shield of Fargus is now on our side. That is quite reassuring. Not only will he provide valuable support in battle, but he has also brought us much-needed supplies. We cannot grow complacent, however. We must take the Imperial capital as soon as possible.
Okay. So, still, if we'd... I just hope...
I'm sure they fit even the only...